Welcome back to Stocklabs for another market recap. We're about halfway through the month of May, and it's been a pretty good month so far for stocks. It was a pretty good week. There was a little bit of trouble in April. Not trouble, but market was selling off some in April. But then ever since the calendar rolled over to May, it's basically been pretty strong. So as far as the weekly performance, we had the Qs up a little over 2%, 2.16%. Small caps up 1.85, S&P up 1.6, and the Dow up 1.2%. Crude was also up 2.25%, and gold was up 2.25%. Same thing. So, pretty risk on across the board. Not a whole lot of weakness anywhere. And if we look at our mega cap leaders, most of them did pretty well or were sort of in line with the market. I mean, as a group, up 2.2%. That's basically the same as the Nasdaq was. And top performer Tesla up 5%. Tesla's had a rough year so far. It's down almost 30% for the year, but maybe starting to catch a little bit of a bid for the summer. Who knows? Google also up 4.4%. Google has really sort of bucked all of the bad things supposedly going on with the company. They're behind on AI. Their cloud product is not as competitive as Amazon and Microsoft, but somehow stock just keeps pushing to all-time highs. So, it is what it is. Apple also up almost 4% for the week. Kind of a rough year for them too. Still down on the year. 5 months, 6 months into the year, still down. So, Nvidia up 3%. Kind of a standard week for them, maybe even not standard because that's had much bigger weeks this week, up almost 90% for the year already. And Microsoft, kind of whatever. Meta also flat. Facebook and Amazon was down 1.5%, but Amazon's been on a tear the last several weeks, so nothing really to complain about there. If we look at breadth by the various industries, more or less pretty good across the board, with the exception industrials were flat. Tech was the outperformer, up 4.4%. Materials also pretty decent week, up 1.6%. And then healthcare, rare up week, up 1.4%. Financials up 1.3%. Consumer flat, and utilities kind of did whatever, up a little more than 1%. Subsector wise, nothing too special here other than the big notable moves in the market this week were, silver had a big week, as well as copper. There was a big squeeze going on in copper. And those had pretty outsized moves. EVs also up 5%. I mean, I mentioned Tesla was up 5% for the week, so the EV stocks kind of went along with it. Gold also up 5.5%. Along with the industrials metals kind of group. And sneakily, the Chinese burritos have sort of been moving up a little bit in recent weeks. I mean, I think like the China bearishness sort of peaked a little earlier in this year. The stocks didn't really do anything right away, but they've been sort of having more constructive price action. Like, let's just describe it as that. On the downside, we don't really have a whole lot to mention here. So worst performers, some random stuff, but they're not even down 5%. So not really any big deal there. And if we look at breadth by market cap, on our 1 to 5 billion cap stocks, up 2.25%, pretty good. We've got 5 to 10 billion cap stocks, up 1.25%. Slightly weaker. Large caps 50 to 100 billion, up 1.6%. Solid week. Mega caps 50 to 100, up 1.3%. It's okay. And Terra caps 100 billion plus, up almost 2% for the week. So that's a really strong week for 100 billion cap plus stocks. So, I mean, really strong week from the market. And if we look at intelligence for the coming week. Not a whole lot to pick from off here. We've got consumer discretionary bullish, and we've got oils bullish, oil producers and explorers. And if we look on the downside here, we've got Bitcoin bearish this week, and weed bearish, and this oil and gas one is also bearish, so maybe oil and gas will be kind of a wash. But I mean, Stocklabs is not really picking out too serious of a bias for the coming week. If we look at our oscillator, sort of right in the middle of everything, we almost got oversold in April, but never really quite got there. We don't have any oversold signals for this year, as far if we're looking at 6-month sample sizes. And yeah, that's about it. So for the coming week, there's a couple things. I mean, we sort of got into a little bit of a frenzy last week with the GameStop stuff. Everyone was looking for a sort of meme stock market 2.0. That didn't really pan out because those stocks collapsed. Like GameStop hit, I think, $60 or $70 midweek and collapsed down to $20 by the end of the week. So, I mean, it is what it is. That's how it goes sometimes. So, I mean, you could take that as sort of like extreme risk sentiment is in the market, which could dissipate and see some choppy or downside action, or you can sort of see it as the beginning, like people are just willing to risk whatever at this time in the market. And with it being summer, low liquidity trading, you could expect some sort of odd moves like that to occur. But anyway, yeah, we're basically into summer trading now. The market will more or less shut down after Memorial Day. There's not going to be a whole lot going on over the summer. I mean, there will be trading, but it's not going to be anything consequential. And then by the time we come back from that, probably you might get some more action around the election, but not really, probably. So yeah, for this week, probably you're looking at maybe some little bit of a pullback early in the week, but market made new highs, so most likely bulls are going to end up pressing them anyway. So that's it. Hope you guys have a good week out there, and don't blow yourself up in some penny stock when the majority of the market is doing pretty well. So that's all from me. Talk to you next week. Bye.